Okay, my name is Muhammad Akmal bin Abdul Wahab.
My name is Nur Faiza Zua Binti Design.
Is Nur Faiza Takma Binti Izin.
And lastly, my name is Nur Hazira binti Muhammad Hasri.
Let me introduce you to Jim. Hello, Jim. Let's follow Jim as he grows up, follows his dream, creates his own company, and learns a lot about organizational culture. Every human organization creates a unique culture all its own. From a small family business operating in its hometown to a large global corporation spanning cultures and time zones, each organization has a distinct identity. Organizational culture is influenced by beliefs and assumptions. What do we mean by beliefs and assumptions? Beliefs and assumptions come from the things that we hear, observe, and learn. They also come from the things that we try. Sometimes these things work, sometimes they don't. Then we rethink and try again, just like little Jim. Now let's follow Jim to the university. He meets friends and inspires them.
A quick aside, it's important, I'll give you a simple example. When we talk about operating...
3 cheers for Jim and his friends as they graduate and team up to form an organization of their own. They decide together where they want to go. They create a foundation that everybody can use and recognize. They form teams which align and engage together to succeed in their market. But in order to succeed, organizations need to be able to adapt. Let's watch Jim and his team as they strive for success together. Underneath the surface of an organizational culture, we have assumptions, beliefs, perceptions, thoughts, and feelings. These are taken for granted. We can't see them. Organizational culture is learned. It grows as we gain experience from our work and move on together over time. The lessons from the past shape our work and life strategies for the future and are important enough to pass on to the next generations, not only for their survival, but also for their development, evolution, and...
Now we move to the next step or strategy on how to change or strengthen the organizational culture in the organization. This can be done by introducing the culturally consistent rewards in the organization to the employees in the organization. First of all, we need to identify what is definition and example of reward. So let's watch the video to get the further explanation about the definition and also the example of the rewards.
Total rewards are the monetary and non-monetary rewards provided by organizations to attract, motivate, and retain employees. Total rewards are the returns provided to employees in exchange for work. The total rewards model has evolved to depict the strategic elements of the employer-employee exchange. Total reward strategy must be aligned to business strategy. To promote flexibility in meeting employee needs, there are 6 elements of total rewards that define an organization's strategy. Compensation is fixed and variable pay provided in return for work. Benefits are non-wage health, income protection, and retirement programs to provide security. Work-life effectiveness are practices that support employees to achieve success at work and at home. Recognition are reinforcement of employee actions that support organizational strategy. Performance management is the alignment of organizational mission with the work of employees, while talent development are the integrated processes to attract, retain, motivate, and engage employees at work. These elements represent the toolkit from which an organization builds a total rewards package.
So by referring to that video, we can conclude that rewards are the powerful artifact in order to reinforce culturally to have the consistent behavior. The reason why am I saying like that, which is because by offering the rewards to the employees in the organization, it will give the motivation to the employees in order to become more productive and effective during performing their task performance in the organization. So, by having the consistent reward, they will change the employees to be more consistent in performing their work tasks, which is it is because the employees know by having a good consistent behavior, it will make or ensure they will get the consistent rewards in the organization. Last but not least, in the other words, it can be simplified by introducing the culturally consistent rewards. It can strengthen the organizational culture. Now let's move to the other strategy or the step that can be used to change or to strengthen the organizational culture in the organizations. Other strategy that can be done by having an action from the leaders within the organization itself. First of all, we need to identify first what is the definition of the leader and why the leader is so important. So in here, there are some video that can be used to us to know or to get the further explanation about the leadership and why is the leadership is important. Referring that video, we can identify the leader is the person who are in charge in leading or managing their employees and organization to ensure that they can achieve their goal of objective. By that, we can identify that sometimes the organizational culture reflects on what their leader personality. For example, if they have a good leader personality, so they will have a good organization culture. But in case if they have a good bad leader personality, so they will have a bad organization culture. So we can conclude or we can specify that the transformational leader can reshape or can restructure the culture, the organization culture in their organization. They can change the organizational culture in their organization, or they can change the organization change practice in their organization. So it will be true and be facts that the action for the founders and the leaders can change or can strengthen the organizational culture.
Next, use attraction, selection and socialization for cultural fit. ASA theory. The theory states that organizations have a natural tendency to attract, select and retain people with values and personality characteristics that are consistent with the organization character, resulting in a more homogeneous organization and a stronger culture. Firstly is the attraction process. The attraction process concerns the fact that people's preference for a particular organization are based on some estimates of the fits of their own personal characteristics with their attributes of the organization they are evaluating. People engage in a self-selection by avoiding companies whose values seem incompatible with their own values. Thus, it is important for the company to communicate their company culture during interview or through public information. Some organizations also often encourage this self-selection by actively describing their own culture. Next, the selection. The selection procedure used by organizations in hiring people with the attributes the organization desire. How well the person fits in with the company culture is often a factor in deciding which job applicants to hire. Many organizations use fit as a criteria in a hiring process because people that fit to an organization culture increase the employee job satisfaction and reduce turnover and absenteeism. The greater the misfit, the more likely the employee will be experienced to dissatisfaction with the job, absent and quit. Lastly is the attrition. People will leave an organization that they do not fit. People are motivated to seize environments that are sufficiently congruent with their personal value and to leave environments that are poor fits. This also happens to the employee that are forced out when values incongruence is sufficiently high. To be added, some of these companies will even pay newcomers to quit within the first few weeks of employment if they think there is a cultural mismatch. In conclusion, the characteristic of people in an organization determines the policies and practices, which in turn determine the people who are attracted to and remain with the organization.
As conclusion, organizational culture is important to all employees or the workmen. A changing in the organizational culture can establish the greatest challenge for the leaders. But if the organizational culture had been practiced, it will solve the problem of the organizational. As the saying goes, teamwork makes the dream work. When people come together to achieve a common goal, the likelihood of success multiples. Each individual brings their own unique experience and perspective, which is especially useful when your organization is facing a complex change. When problems are shared, they are more likely to be solved. By opening up the conversation and inviting creative solutions from across your company, you can benefit from the collective brain power of an entire organization, and you may even discover the source you have never thought to consult other ones who come up with the best answer. Other than that, it also will improve the innovation. Some of the most successful companies in the world, like Google and Facebook, achieve their status by creating a culture where employees have the time and space to learn, explore and pitch their idea.